Come on over here. Come on through this, motherfucker. You got a surprise because below this T-shirt, there is everything. Hello, my kits and caboodles. This is the lady, the cat, Couture, coming to you live from the litter with my socialites. And this is the Kocktail Social. Hello, socialites.
Going on?
How you doing?
How you doing?
How you doing?
I do like Wendy Williams. Even though she a gossip queen and she messy as all fuck. And she shaped a little differently, but I still like her. I love her personality. So
yeah, she shaped.
They said she was shaped like an uppercase P. I couldn't do no more.
Who said you said an uppercase P?
Uppercase P.
First of all, that's horrible. I never said that, Wendy. This is not me. I never said that. You my girl. Huh?
She claimed it herself. She claimed it.
It's them titties. Them titties be setting her up. But if I had, I would get titties too. But I don't want my own titties. I want somebody else's titties. Yes. Mizell, where you at?
I'm here.
Oh.
My wine glass went missing. I'm pretty sure I know who got it.
She about to be some ass.
Nate, because that's what he do. Stealing shit.
I do not. First of all,
Nate got your shit.
I'm a clean eater now. I don't eat those types of things anymore. I don't digest those things.
Mm-hmm. You keep on saying what you don't digest, but we know what you do. On that note, I'm going to take a sip.
Is that an invitation? Because I'm busy. I'm busy.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I apologize. Mr. Gilmore, what's been going on? I know that. What's been going on with you? Tell me something good.
Oh, no, I've been working, chilling, making it through the week. You know?
These questions. The questions that y'all sent me this week were absolutely phenomenal. I loved especially the one. So I'm gonna start with your questions today.
You are out of control. Let me just let y'all know.
What do you prefer questions were. I was like, and I'm gonna gag you because I'm gonna have a response for every last one of them.
I know you did. First of all, happy Gemini season.
Yay!
Oh, you know it's a full moon tonight in Gemini.
It sure is.
So for all my Geminis, is y'all gonna be freaky tonight?
Shit, I don't even know. I'm glad to even be able to keep my eyes open because I was sleepy as shit earlier.
Well, we having the Kocktail Social. Huh?
Yes, we are.
Gemini too?
Who, me? Yeah, I'm a Gemini. June 20th.
Oh.
We having the after party that's gonna be basically a Gemini get together. So one of my twins will be there. So that means y'all got to like strip and get naked and shit. I don't know.
Okay.
Now, do y'all want?
She said, "Okay."
Now, do you want that socially distanced, or do you want that up close?
Socially distanced with your camera off, Bleu.
I mean, thank you.
You're gonna come in the party like.
I mean, since you said, and I am a Leo with a Gemini rising, so
absolutely, you know, I'm a Gemini with a Leo rising.
So
it's something special.
It is. So you know what that means. You know, I'll bust up in the room and give you something you can feel.
Oh shit!
It's like mine is Scorpio.
Wow.
I just ordered a new crystal today, so I'm happy about that.
Hey, where you order your crystals from?
I'll send you the site because I can't pronounce it.
Because I've been I like big stones. And so, like, I know.
But I wanted a small one. I don't want
Well, I was going to take some of them and put them in my garden. So I didn't want to put, like, too many small ones out there because I'd never find them again. But you know, just like some nice size crystals to put out there.
I ordered a nice piece of citrine.
That's a fire stone.
Oh, I got a fire
which is
I had a citrine.
very important. It is said to be very important for Geminis in this season that they have a piece. So I went and got some. And yellow. Yep. And yellow is my favorite color. So
I love yellow. A lot of people don't like yellow, but I love
yellow. That is my favorite color. It makes me happy every time I see it. And it's also the chakra that I'm currently working on. So.
And this is the season for that chakra.
It is. It is very much so.
It all ties together.
So for the viewers, what chakra are we, first of all, what are we talking about when we talk about chakras?
I'm sorry, are we on the air?
We are on the air.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm glad I ain't say nothing incriminating in this one. Yeah, you can pick up the kilos on the other side. You can pick them up in the alley over by the.
Yeah, and I'm gonna be like,
I don't know what she's talking about.
The lies and shit just go dead.
So I want to ask you, what is the chakra that you're talking about? What's that stone good for? Citrine.
Good God, it's good for everything. You know, it's the only stone that doesn't need to be cleaned. It cleanses itself, and it keeps away negative energy, money, communication. Gemini is one of the things why this one is so important, because Geminis are always looking for balance.
Mm-hmm.
And this is one of those stones that definitely balances out things. I know I'm a person that always needs balance. Like, even when I got my first tattoo, it was like I wasn't right until I got the other one, because I needed one on the other side. And it's just everything I do always has to have some form of balance. But citrine is going to be super, super helpful with that. I cannot say that I am the authority on that. I've definitely been talking to some amazing women who in our community, in the artist community in Baltimore, they do wonderful work, and they have been doing some incredible free teaching. You know, they're not even charging for this knowledge. So you can Google it, but it's always good to go to somebody just to kind of, that's also part of my balance. You told me, but now I need to go fact check. But
I'm on here right now doing that. I'm looking it up right now.
Citrine, it's a yellow stone. It's
like yellow, but it's clear.
At the bottom, at somewhere. Yeah.
It can also come in a very dark honey color. The one I'm getting is almost a honey color.
I had the citrine that color too.
And the reason why I chose that one is because supposedly the minerals in there are good at helping with breathing. And as y'all know, I have respiratory issues. And it's supposed to help with balance of breathing, and when you're feeling anxiety, to help bring it down.
Mm-hmm.
So,
where do you all suggest like getting stones from? Because I've always been nervous that somebody's bad energy will be on them. So
you can cleanse them, even if
you gotta cleanse them.
Yeah, you gotta. I think wherever you get it from, you gotta cleanse, pray. I pray over everything.
Yeah,
it's not even just saying grace. I pray over my food. I pray over everything that comes through me.
Mm-hmm.
So, when I go to CVS and pick up my medication, I pray over that. I'm like, all right, Lord.
Please let this be a good batch, Lord.
Come on now.
Relieve my pain.
Oh my goodness, that's so funny.
Exactly though. Exactly.
So you are working on your solar plexus.
Yep, solar plexus.
Your personal will.
Yeah.
And citrine is for manifestation and communication, which is a good thing and it's a fire stone actually, which is really funny because you're an air sign. So it's kind of that balance, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So that's interesting. That is really, really interesting. I remember when I first got into stones and alternative spirituality when my mom was alive, and it was around. I came out at 20, and after I came out the closet to her, I was like, okay, I can finally go see her. I hadn't seen her for years. And so when I went to see her, she was living in Columbus, Ohio, and there was this place called Pearls of Wisdom. And I hope that place is still around because it brings back such memories, and it's a really a wonderful place, but it's about spirituality, a whole alternative spirituality. So if you wanted to go there, you get stones, you get, sage, all sorts of stuff. And she gave me my first stone. The first stone that she ever gave me was an amethyst. And
that was my first stone.
That's a good one.
Yeah, it was and then the second stone she gave me was a rose quartz. And she said that, this is because you are a loving person. And this stone will help you strengthen your heart so that it doesn't break so easily. So that was the first two stones that she gave me. And then afterwards, my favorite stone was an aqua aura, which is a blue stone, but it's tinted with gold. So it gets this iridescent.
A real pretty one.
It's a blue.
Happened to it.
Yeah, and so the auras are those stones that have that shimmer, that kind of iridescent shimmer to them. But I started to really get into stones, and then I kind of fell off. And so I think I'm going to get back into them. I know that I have a lot of them, like tourmaline and obsidian and onyx and garnet. Garnet is a good passion stone, and for, sexuality and passion and lust.
I need more yellow stones. I need more yellow stones, and I need more blue stones. I have a lot of green and a lot of black stones. A lot of protective stones, stuff like that.
That's good to have.
So,
hey, Adrian,
what's going on?
A really good one to have is clear quartz.
Absolutely.
Clear quartz, you can charge to be whatever stone you want. So, like if you don't have, say, hematite, then you can charge that to act as a hematite.
Yeah.
I have a lot of hematite. Rhododite is probably one of my favorites.
Yeah, I got one of hematite now.
Rhododite has been probably the most useful for me. It's definitely about love and trust. Again, I've said it before on here that I'm very good at giving love. I'm horrible at receiving love. I really don't know how, but I know how to give it. And I'll give you everything I got. But when it comes to filling that back up, I'm not that great at it. And people want to love me, and I've learned how to make it look like I let them.
Squat them off.
Every Gemini that I've ever come across,
you squat them off.
No, Nate. Yeah, what you just said, absolutely.
I have a lot of Geminis in my family, and being one, I think that's a bad trait, but it's just how we protect ourselves.
And I know trust is the core of it, and the fact that no, we ain't going down this road.
That's when he touched.
No, we ain't going down this road.
Oh no, by all means, go down. Come into the light.
No, but it's a good one because for the past, one of my questions is about unconditional love, but for the past year, that has come up quite a bit in all of my conversations, and especially when I seem to have my rhododite on, it comes up even more. And it led to an epiphany for me was that growing up, I was not aware of what love looked like without condition. And because of that, I think that is why, I give all of me, but I don't expect much from other people. And so, I never look for what I can get back or not even how I can receive love. It's more like make sure I give the best love that I can. You know, even down to someone apologizing, like, I'm like, oh no, it's cool. But I may need to let that person apologize for them, and I actually may need to hear it, and I don't know, but I don't expect it, so I don't look for
it. I'm glad that you segue, because that's going to bring us to our first cocktail question, which is your love questions. And so the one that actually, I love the first question that you asked. The question that he asked was, is unconditional love real? And the reason why I think I really, that question resonated with me is because I think, honestly, in my field, what I found is that people truly don't know what love is. They have an idea about it, but that idea is so unrealistic that when they don't receive it, when they don't actually get it, that's where the heartbreak and the disappointment happens, because they have this vision of it, but that vision is perfect. But they're living in an imperfect world with real people that got real shit. So it's like, when I listen to people and they're talking about love, what does that look like? I always am amazed at the conditions that they will start to state. Love is this. If you love me, you do this. If it was real love, it'll feel like this. If I hear it, it should sound like this. It should smell like this. It's like this. It should be like this. I should feel like this. But that, to me, those are conditions. Real love, unconditional love, from the way that I interpret it, is beyond those conditions. It's loving you faults and all. Now, you can have a standard and everything and say, well, I don't want to necessarily settle for this. I don't want to accept that. But love is beyond all of those types of conditions. And the reason why I say that is because I always think about being with me. I'm not necessarily a monogamous person. I believe in polyamory, even though I've been in monogamous relationships. But the reality is that the reason why I am is because I know that unconditional love isn't something that's just unilateral. It's omni. It can go all in every direction. But a lot of times there's these conditions on love that people wind up being miserable and alone. That's just my opinion, my interpretation. But I'm opening up the socials, the Kocktail Social. So the socials. So is unconditional love real?
I think it's real until something happened that ain't what you want.
Say what? Say what? Say what you need.
You think it's unconditional. You be like, yeah, I'ma love you and this, that, and the other, and then some crazy shit happen, and then all of a sudden you like, I ain't gonna be able to deal with that.
But see, I think we get that confused with, I can love you but not accept you hurting me. That doesn't mean that I don't love you because I hold you accountable for. I think that's part of love, is holding someone accountable for what they're doing. I think that shows love for yourself as well as for that other person when you hold someone accountable. But when I framed this question, it was more from, because I think when we think love, we always think the romantic part of it. We always think of just the relationship part of it, and or even the sexual end of it. But for me, I was thinking more of the fact that, I don't know if anyone has ever seen Maya Angelou talk about who liberated her to love and what that meant for her. And it made me really dig into it, because it was when I realized, it was when I was younger, that I learned that love for me has become with conditions. That you love me if I'm doing this. You love me if I act like this. You love me if I do that. But I haven't seen it when I'm not acting in the way that you want. And I don't think that was the fault of anyone. I don't think that it was maliciously done, but it happened. So, and then I have to unlearn it.
So my question to you is that when someone, because you said that when you were framing the question, that you were framing it from a perspective of,
any relationship, any person.
Yeah, I get that, but you were saying that love can be holding someone accountable. That's love as well. So when someone does that to you, do you receive it that way? Do you receive it as it being loving?
Do I? Personally?
Anybody? Yes.
Oh yeah. Again, and that goes back to the fact that I am good with being held accountable to my shit and owning to my shit because I always have been. Mm-hmm. But I don't hold others as accountable as I should.
Oh. Hey, Brandon. Hey boy.
There.
So I think that's I don't know, that's some shit that I just have to work through, is the fact that, you can say all the bad shit I've done and that you need to work on that. But then if I was to sit and do that to you, then your dramatics are going to come into, and you're going to act like I've just wounded you. And then I'm just going to shut down and I'm going to be like, fuck it. So I just move on.
But they may be aware that that's what you're going to do. So that's why they act like
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And that I've become aware of too. Like you're expecting now that I'm just going to say, all right, because if you put on this show and I don't like them skits, then I'm just going to kind of be like, all right, fuck it.
It's hard. I think sometimes it's hard for me to be held accountable because I see the dumb shit that people do. So I don't normally do what I do because you're doing what you're doing, but it's hard for me to sometimes take people seriously and giving me critiques on what they want out of me, or if they're checking me, because normally it becomes a control thing, and you're saying these things because you want me to be who you want me to be versus who I naturally am. So that's why it's always been difficult for me to receive.
Oh yeah, that's real Gemini shit, Nate. that's that real Gemini stuff. Like,
so my question to you is that it doesn't sound necessarily about love as it is about how one blends in a relationship.
Yeah, but like what y'all was saying before, like what Jonathan said, it's something that happens to children when they realize love ain't just love, and it's conditional, or you love me because these things are going right, or you love me because you have to love me, is legally obligated. But that's when it changed for me, because I start seeing, like you said, I start seeing the conditions that people have love, whether they're your grandmother or your best friend. Like, everything is conditional. And as you get older, you start realizing you don't love me because it's just in you. It's something that's stacking up the odds for you to be in love or loving me. So that shit hard for me, because it's just like, are you here because you want to be here, or you love me?
Now my question is that I think that the thing about love is people can't differentiate it from like. So
yeah. No, I mean, okay, I get that. I think, I don't know, I feel like it's another conversation that I'm having, and maybe I didn't frame it correctly. Because it may be more like when you first experience real love.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. And it doesn't, and like, again, it doesn't have to be romantic love. Like, but when you first experience and you knew it was love, and you knew that it was real, and you knew that it didn't come with anything extra, loved you just for being there, just for being you. And how did that kind of inform how you showed and deal with love moving forward?
It was a very vulnerable place. And it was with someone that I think that because of the intensity of it, and it wasn't sexual, it was actually more like friendship, but it was like the true form of best friendship. It was like, you talked, you were vulnerable, you talked, and you felt encouraged. You felt, even though you may have been weak, you felt strong. And so I think, and it was with a friend. It was a friend of mine, and I think in my opinion, it was the first person that I actually truly loved. It was the actual person. It was the first person that I fell in love with. They were not gay. They were not gay at all and everything. But what made me love them was not necessarily a physical thing. We were never physical. We were never physically intimate, but we were intimate. And intensity was something that I've always looked for because it was really genuine, was authentic. And I think it frightened the both of us. It frightened me because I had never experienced that before. And it frightened him because it was no definition to it. It was uncomfortably comfortable and comfortably uncomfortable. So it was that contradictory type thing where it's like, I know this. I don't know if I'm supposed to feel this way, but I do feel this way. And I walked away from it. Right. I walked away from it wanting and desiring it, but unable to find that type of vulnerability in anyone because everyone that I came across afterwards was so and he even became kind of guarded and defensive, and it wasn't the same. But that was when it was pure and when it was innocent and when it was, when we were unaware, but we just kind of stumbled upon it. It was something that's what made me realize that love was real and what it looked like. It was not sexual. You're absolutely right. It was not something that had any conditions. It was what it was. It was just it was friendship. That's what it really was. It was genuine, authentic friendship. Hello, Bakari. He says, listening to you guys, I've been the type of person that y'all are talking about. So I believe it's really all about personal accountability because we teach people how to love by what you allow.
That's true.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know if that's what we teach people, how we love. I think we teach people what we've been taught. Like I think that if you've been in a situation where the love that you've been or the interpretation of love has been skewed, then that's what you look for. You know what I mean? In my opinion, it just means that if you have a distorted version of love, then that's your definition of what love is until you find a true love or something that's different but I don't think people actually get that opportunity because they come into relationships with so much other baggage.
Yeah.
I think that because I definitely agree. We all come with baggage. The first time I could say where I knew I was in the beginnings of being in love was when my baggage was seen. And it was accepted. It was like, go ahead, put it down. I got it.
Right. I got
Don't worry about it.
Space in the back.
Right, like, look, it's a back room upstairs. You can put it up there. I don't care about it.
They love you.
Yeah, and that
is
shit. But then, what I have to fight is taking that baggage and beating the shit out of them with it. Like, no, don't be crazy, motherfucker. Are you crazy?
You
Right.
I want my dad's records.
And I think that we do fight or I'm not even gonna say we, I'm gonna speak for myself. I think that I fight love.
Why do you fight it?
And I don't trust it. Not all the time.
Love will make you do some fucked up shit.
So it's not love that you don't trust, it's you don't trust.
Hell no. I don't trust me. I don't trust the other person. Look, it's hard to trust. Like, look, man.
I don't even trust.
Oh, fuck you. Hell no. Blue, we ain't doing this shit.
What?
Right. His head out. Look at him.
Right. We ain't doing this, Oprah. Not today. And the next question is.
Well, first,
this conversation requires another week of thought. Like, you can't just bring
right.
I'll submit my essay on Tuesday.
You posted that shit on Monday. Like this. You I'm gonna need a drink for this.
But I think it's a wonderful conversation, and I think that it's needed conversation.
Christy, say something funny.
She can't. She can't. It's a heavy.
Look, I had some funny shit to say a little while ago, but then I was like, maybe I shouldn't. I think to myself, like, should I interrupt?
The difficulty in this type of conversation is exposing what hurt you and what has hurt you and all those different layers. And even me saying that requires a certain level of give a fuck for the people that I'm surrounded by. Not saying anything about you guys, but it just still, I've never found that 100%. And I'm a type of person, I need to feel it 1,000%.
Well, see,
100%. And it's
still, I understand. And two of these people on here, you know, Christy and Blue, I share quite a bit with them, but we on live shit, and this other people.
Right.
And I ain't fitting to share all of that.
Exactly.
Well, you know what? Honestly,
that's when she touched me. What are we gonna do now? Damn, and then you drinking and shit. The next day, hell no.
See, this could get rough. No. What's the next question? It's 7:35. It's time to move on.
So,
sunshine outside. I'm not going to talk about this shit.
You said me twice a week.
Well,
oh Lord.
I feel like I recognize and I hear every last one of you. This is a subject that first of all, this requires a level of comfort to be able to go into, and you can become very naked, and not everyone is okay with being naked in public or naked in front of strangers.
That little extra meat roll you ain't too proud about just fall out.
Oh, shit.
That shit hitting, they make a sound, they make that little spank sound like oops.
Moist. Like, why is it moist?
Oh my goodness.
Or it got too much heat coming from it all of a sudden.
Right.
Just imagine like dating or like being around loved ones and it's still that level of distance that you have with being that honest. That's why you have family members that just stay away, because it's just trying to create that comfort zone and creating that open dialogue. That it could be hard. And
I've recognized that, but I've recognized it as an issue. And the reason why I see that is because I think that's why relationships don't flourish, because they lack that nurturing. And that nurturing requires communication and open and honest communication and vulnerability. And I think a lot of times what happens is that it's always interesting that people talk about principalities and, you know, they talk about duality, you know, yin and yang and balance and fire and water and up and down and life and death, but they really can't accept that duality. And that means being able to look at the good as well as the ugly. And being able to, and even though it may be uncomfortable for you, you have to really accept that. And what happens is that in accepting that part of you, you then become empowered. It no longer has that hold over you. It don't encroach you. And so it's like, I think that when people, when they talk about relationships and love, and I'm not talking about like romantic love, I'm just talking about love, even between family members when they try to avoid the person that's just like them. You know what I mean? That acts like them, looks like them, or, you know, they don't want to approach subject matters that may be sensitive because they themselves are uncomfortable. That to me is when we're supposed to have those conversations, because a lot of people are broken and lost because they didn't have those conversations, especially in the Black community when it talks about what love looks like. You know, love doesn't look like getting beat the fuck up. You know, but there's a lot of people out here that believes that. And I'm not talking about just with your fist. I'm talking about emotionally. You know what I mean? Psychologically, it doesn't look like getting beat the fuck up. But in our mind, that's what we believe. You know, that if we beat down or something, you love me. And we look for that. And that's very traumatic. And it has a negative, it's fucking up everybody. You know, and I think because people don't have conversations like this, because of it. It is uncomfortable, like race is uncomfortable, religion is uncomfortable, but those are the conversations that you have to have. And in those conversations, you find that more people are alike than different.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
I think at some point, people just, you know, feel like they got to put on this mask.
Yeah.
No pun intended. But you got to put on, you know.
I make masks. You see that? I make masks. It's right there. What?
But I like how she pointed to it and said, you have to wear
No.
by Mizell.
Speaking of masks.
You know, people put on this mask because they don't want people to know all of their secrets and stuff like that. But I think that if people were more open and just letting it hang out, you know what I mean? It's like
speaking of secrets. Speaking of secrets. I brought this on eBay. that left titty.
That bitch looking like an Amazon.
It was real strong.
We're not uncomfortable with like walking around with those things, and that makes us who we are. Like those secrets or that hurt or that shame. Like we become accustomed to just walking around with it, not doing anything with it, not exposing it, not trying to get rid of it.
Well, the thing is, most of the time when people say how you doing, they don't really want to know how you doing.
Right,
so,
right.
You know, they really don't.
I mean, so if you decided, somebody say how you doing, and you decide to tell them your story, and they looking at you like you crazy, you know, people just don't want to expose themselves, so they just tend to keep it to themselves. It's like naturally. It's natural for you to say, "Hey, how you doing?" and for you to say, "Oh, I'm fine," or you know, everything's good. You know. Nobody's gonna be like, oh well, I got a flat tire this morning. My dog, you know, he got hemorrhoids, and the cat.
Dog got hemorrhoids.
I always love running into people like that because most people, including self, can't be that honest about what's like currently going on or what's wrong. I know people who can just be like, well, bitch, my ass itch right now, and
I got the damnedest examples.
Right.
Hey, well,
Bakar, you're right.
Baltimore Street.
Bakar, you said, so in essence, aren't you carrying that over into the new relationship, teaching that person, this is how I'm used to being in love, this is how I know how to love, and that this is all I know about that until you thought something differently? I think that, yes, sometimes when you do come into relationships, but a lot of times what happens is that people don't get into relationships, they get into situationships. And the thing is that relationships require one time and communication, and it takes time for you to actually do it. But I think that we're in an instant era, and people want it to happen really fast.
Oh yeah, it takes time. It takes time. You will see somebody hop on Instagram. They started dating on Monday. They move in together Friday, and then they booed up and take the pictures like they've been together for years. Right.
6 months pregnant.
And, you know,
all right.
I mean, I think for me, romantically, one thing that as I look back on the horror and the thriller and the fucking sideshow that has been my romantic past is that with each relationship, it got better. You know, it's like not only like they got better, I got better. It was like always like a little bit closer to what felt right.
But
you know what I mean? And it was just like, and then I learned so much from each one that, you know, you got to take something with you. Because if you just go and keep fucking up over and over again doing the same shit to everybody, then that's on you. Or if you let the same thing get done to you over and over, that's on you. So you gotta take something over.
Oh my goodness, you okay, Mizell?
Yeah, I'm trying to find my phone because I forgot it's hooked up to my speaker, and it's going to keep going off.
Mm-hmm. Oh. You had something that you wanted to say?
I was going to say, I think it's important to love yourself first before you think about loving somebody else. Because, I mean, if you don't know how to love you, you don't know how to
tell somebody how to love
somebody else how to love you. So I think, you get people out here that just get into relationships not really knowing what it is that they're really looking for. They don't know, they don't even know what love looks like. They don't love themselves. So they just, happy just to have somebody say they look cute today.
And, a lot of people don't know how to be alone. And, what happens is that they get into, they get into these situations because of that loneliness. They don't know how to be by themselves. And to really, because even being alone, loving yourself requires a certain degree of honesty. You have to really be true and be vulnerable with you. And not everyone can look in the mirror and see themselves for themselves. Even when they are by themselves, they will contort or, try to shift and camouflage and shield, but not necessarily expose.
How you hide yourself from yourself?
I've been noticing that as I look through, as I'm watching a lot of these talk shows and stuff during this moment, and you get insecurities eating them up inside. But they gotta do the View, or they gotta do these interviews, and they're in face to face on a camera, and I can see people's insides eating them alive because they steady fidgeting with their hair, or they're trying to fix their clothes every 5 minutes, and they're not really comfortable in their own space. I think this moment has brought that one lesson out for so many people, and I can see people fighting even learning the lesson or getting the lesson, or getting past it, because we so accustomed to just putting on that, like she said, that mask, or that armor that protects us from showing who we really are to people. And
too, I think we're so distracted by the devices and stuff that's around us that we don't take time to ourselves. So when we're by ourselves, it's almost like, oh my gosh, I'm it's too quiet, or I need a TV on, or And if you're not in tune with yourself,
let me talk to somebody.
You drive yourself crazy. You know what I'm saying? Your mind talking to you and shit.
Right.
I want an icy pop. You hear them bitches? You hear them bitches?
Nah, but I'm with you on that. I think that that has been a great observation. That you watch people do a lot of Zooms, and they are a lot more self-conscious than usual.
Right.
I know when I was younger, because I've been fat my whole life. When I was younger, I used to tug on my shirt. I would all the time. I'd be doing this shit. Yeah. I'd just be doing this shit all the time. And then literally my uncle here said something that kind of liberated me from that. I mean, he meant it as a joke, but it clicked in my head. He was like, we still can see you fat, right? And that shit was like, huh. And so,
I might as well we need to pull it out this bitch. I'm half stretched from now on.
And then there was a point where I wouldn't smile for real, because I got a gap in the overbreast. I would do this.
Oh, then, put your smile.
Right. But then, one day this girl, I started laughing and I smiled, and she was like, I really like your smile. And I was like, why? And she broke down to me, and it was like, I felt like silly shit. I'm in there like.
You do. Honestly, I lied to you, not Jonathan. I was that way for a long time, because when I grew up, that wasn't the thing to have, was a gap or big lips. And so I smiled.
Well, shit, you should see my 5th grade picture because I had a gap and big lips. And
and it was a lady. It was an African woman. We were at the bar, and she had.
It's so funny. It was an African girl.
She had a gap too, and we were at a bar, and it was funny. I'm sitting there having my drink, minding my business, trying to be, and I was smiling about something, and she stopped and said, "You have a beautiful smile. You should do it more often." And she was like, "What tribe are you from?" And I didn't know what she meant by that. I was like, but I heard her accent, so she must have was, did I know like where I came from and things like. And so I was like, "No, I'm from here, Baltimore, and everything." But when she said, she was like. She was smiling, and then she asked me to smile, and I literally was like silly. I had the biggest, goofiest.
Right. Right.
You saying all 900 teeth.
Look, but now I smiles all the time. I would have smiled harder. Right.
Ears all in your mouth.
Right. It's so because I love women with gaps. Oh my god, I love it. And no, but it's like shit. I remember when I first shaved my head. That was some freeing shit. I knew my ass was going bald. I was holding on like a bitch. I was going to the barbershop once a week. That I was paying $125 a month to keep my hair cut a certain way. And then when I cut this shit off, I was like, freedom. It was wonderful.
Mm-hmm.
But I agree.
That was a wonderful 75 minutes about love. I enjoyed it, but we are going to move along with the cocktail questions. And so our next question is a controversial question that I wanted Karen to be, Aunt Kay to be here for, but she wasn't. But I'm going to ask the question. As a matter of fact, I might save it for her. The question that I'm going, I'm going to the fun stuff. What do you prefer? I want to get to this part. Big ass, no titties. Big titties, no ass. Which one? Big ass, no titties, or big titties, no ass?
Me personally, I don't want to have to deal with none of that shit.
Perfectly honest with you.
If you a dude with big titties and no ass, big ass and no titties, I don't want to have to deal with none of that. None of that shit. You walk around here, a grown ass man with hips. Fuck no.
Don't be judging me. We just better talk about it.
Oh, you feel judged, don't you, Nate? You feel judged over there. Oh, shit.
He said, fuck that, I got ass and titties, motherfucker.
I don't know because I was breastfed. I don't know what it is. But I don't even, it was a meme of an old lady that was like going through it because we was in quarantine. But I've always liked just titties. I don't know what it is. I don't even want to touch them. I just love watching the ladies get like a loose blouse.
You just want a motherfucker to do.
Right. I don't know what it is. And not even like porn titties are like nasty to me because they're greasy and shiny. But just like a lady in like a nice blouse that I don't know what it is.
Peekaboo titty.
You said
peekaboo titty.
I don't know what it is.
That's when the titty sometimes it'll pop out a little bit, just show a little bit, and then it go back in like a cuckoo.
Yeah, just a little slither of it. I think it was my 4th grade teacher. She had like the cone titty, and I don't know. I was inappropriate in my mind.
Little titties, the pointy titty bras.
Yeah, she had the pointy titty bra.
Oh shit!
Because I could just imagine
1950s
like bras. I don't know.
What's her name? Aphrodite Z or some shit like that, where she would shoot her titties at you and they would be missiles.
Oh shit! That was one. Damn, what was the name?
Transoid Z. It was a Transoid Z. It was Aphrodite Z or something like that.
It's so funny.
Missile titties. Yeah.
Missile titties.
I like the titties.
I'ma say I can't say I like. It has to be a healthy blend of both. I don't like big anything. Like, well, that's a lie.
I was going to say, I can single one right off the top of my head.
I like medium-sized. I like medium-sized titties and medium-sized ass. I think too much. I mean, yeah. I mean, now if I had to choose, I'd choose a big ass over a small ass. But yeah, if I had to do it, a healthy blend of both: mid ass, mid titties.
Yeah,
mid titties, you can get a handful with enough of it hanging out. You get a mouthful with enough of it hanging out. Mid ass is the same thing. It ain't too much. It ain't all over the place. You ain't all over the place with it.
Too big titty. That shit, somebody can roll over on that motherfucker.
See, and I think that's my issue. In my family, titties is big. Titties is real big in my family. Like they got them ones where they had to go to Wii Fit and get them double XLR bras. And so, you know, I don't really need all that, but ass will make me stop traffic, man. It'll make me turn. Woo-hoo.
I knew a chick one time, she wore a size N, bro.
Mm-hmm. See, that's my fact. That young, old, they all got them like that.
Like I know somebody that was a J.
She spent her life on her stomach because that shit sounded like it was heavy. You were in?
I know my cousin.
First of all, you all get dark spots on a damn stomach or light spots, whichever way you want to look at it. Because the titties was laying on her stomach the whole time. She had to clean her fucking titties out like the lint trap in a dryer because it was like food particles and shit to be down that motherfucker. She had to like you got a whole popcorn shrimp down that bitch.
Oh. Well.
All right, next. Yeah, next.
Y'all like, what the fuck? Yeah, they was ridiculous.
I'm trying to imagine in my mind what an N look like. That shit is.
But I'm not trying to imagine that. The next, do you prefer, or what? Yeah, is big balls, little meat, big meat, little balls.
Big meat, little balls. I wouldn't want no fucking big balls and a little bit of ass. Shit, then you ain't got no meat because the balls gonna overtake the motherfucker. No. Hell no. If that bitch look like, if that shit look like a can of sauce shooting out of motherfucking head, I don't want nothing to do with that.
I agree.
That bitch looking like a motherfucking turtle. That motherfucker sitting up there looking like
I had a guy with
I thought this motherfucker had an Audi. This motherfucker talking about, oh no, that's trench. Like, hey.
It looked like this.
He just
it looked like
this should make you go, aww. Yeah, that's not good. That's not good.
His balls look like my fist and his penis look like my finger.
You should look like the statue of David. Like, no.
Oh, no. Yeah. I don't know if that was a hernia or anything, but I know it was disgusting to look at, and I didn't want to touch it.
No.
So
it looked like it's clammy.
It looked like it's painful. And it looked like I didn't want anything to come from it.
No, hell no. This shit like busting a bump.
So my thing is this. Now this is for you, Mizell. When you have sex with a man with a small penis and you get pregnant, is that like cursing your child? Like your boy?
Yes, girl. You just hope your girl don't have no boys, or hope she hook up with somebody that got some shit going on. Cause
I always want to know that, like, you know, because I've known some girls that dated guys, and I know the guys weren't working with much, but they had children.
And I have dealt with that situation myself in my day, but I'm at a point in my life now that if you ain't got the tools for the job, I'm sorry, I'm gonna hire somebody else.
Do you say something to them? Like, have you said something?
What the fuck can you say? What can you really say? They can't get no extra. Now you can pussy foot around the motherfucker. You can pussy foot around the shit and be like, why don't we just get us some toys or some shit like that. And then if the motherfucker ain't in that shit, then you pretty much like playing the guitar on the late night after you finish.
Which and
eventually, look, I'm gonna say something. Like, look at here, bruh.
So so moving on.
Please.
That wasn't for the guys. The guys didn't need to ask that. That was for us girls. And I and this one ain't for the guys either. I mean, unless they might you never know. I'm gonna give this one for the guys. Shaved cat or bald cat?
I'm gonna eat either way.
Huh?
I'm gonna eat either way.
Oh. Bad carpet or hardwood floors? Got an answer for that, Brett?
As long as it's clean, I'm good.
Okay, all right.
Well, I like it. I must have to say.
And look, I got a beard. We just fluff each other. Look like two Jerry curls by the time it's done.
So I'm gonna say that it has to be. I like lightly carpeted, not fully carpeted.
You want that?
Well, I ain't never been with somebody that had an all off afro down there, but
no, not like the 70s. I don't know. They just had different shit going on then. I ain't seen.
I didn't have it where where it's just a coating of hair. It wasn't like a whole little.
Yeah, I ain't never seen that either.
I have, and it ain't pretty. I mean, well, it's not even that it's not pretty because it's just hair. Yeah,
well, if you got 4C hair on your joint and they look like flies on a sticky trap down that bitch.
Oh, no.
Down that motherfucker. That shit is not appealing. That motherfucker start training that shit or something.
Adrian said he prefers bald.
Like, I feel like if it's coming out your drawers or if it's changed your underwear pattern, then it's a problem. But I ain't seen that yet.
Wait a minute, you said what? What are we talking about?
Like if the hair coming out your drawers, like out your pants.
On the sides and shit? Yeah. You took it too far.
Yeah, I ain't never had. I was talking about where it's just a little, it kind of look like a little.
Yeah, it's on there. It's on
lightly carpeted.
Dense.
Tight that. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
you ain't got the part, nothing. You're not like Moses going through there. You just.
It hasn't. I'm gonna say it hasn't curved. I don't want that.
Exactly.
It's a crew cut.
And she got a fade on that joint.
Yeah, that would be fine. For us ladies, the question is curved meat or straight meat?
Straight.
I'm gonna have to say all meat. I am not going
because if you know what to do with it, it really don't matter.
I like that. I like that one. I like that one that go up. I like that one that go down. I like that one go to the left. Like that one go to and if you accommodate them, you get your neck ready.
You gotta go from the side on that motherfucker.
You gotta go up. Look, you on that bitch like this. You gotta go down on that. You gotta go up,
One of them boomerangs.
That is, I need to stop. That's how a bitch gonna get arthritis in the neck.
Right. Motherfucker walk around with a strong ass neck muscle and shit. Like, why your neck wider than your head?
The last question is big nipples, little nipples.
I just like nipples.
I don't want no big nipples. I didn't see that shit.
Well, not on no man.
Like to say, I like big areolas.
This motherfucker with grapefruit size.
I gotta see your nipples. Show your nipples.
Grapefruit.
If it looked like the size of this finger, I don't want
it. A coconut bra.
Okay, next cocktail question. Oh, this is from Cable, who's not here, but I'm going to do this question anyway. How do you prepare your greens for the holidays? This nigga trying to get a recipe.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
I boil them.
In water, cooked.
Well, first I use a pot.
Right.
And boil them.
I've learned to like them almost close to what they are. Like, I don't like them boiled down to like mush.
Shit.
You want them crunchy?
You want them crunchy?
Yeah, I like them a little firm now.
I don't want no damn crunchy ass greens.
Balls be heavy. Oh,
yeah.
I like them greens that melt in your mouth. It's just good. And that's the greens I like. I don't want no crunchy ass greens. Now cabbage, I do like my cabbage to still have a little crunch.
Yeah.
But I don't want my greens there because greens is tough as shit anyway.
Not as tough as cabbage can be, because I like my cabbage like almost raw, but I can't look. I just don't want the mushiness of the
You might as well eat sauerkraut.
Pretty much.
Sauerkraut coleslaw.
Yeah, well, that's why I love coleslaw. That's why I love it. I love coleslaw.
No, I want my greens cooked, man. I want them things to.
Mine tender.
Mm-hmm.
Some smoked turkey in it.
Get you some turkey butts.
Yes, the turkey butts is raw with the little fat meat on that.
Yeah, ooh, what you talking about?
Think you eating pork when you ate?
So can I tell y'all something? First of all, I think both of y'all are disgusting.
You done ate some turkey ass. If you didn't ate any greens from either one of us.
Man, what I messed up is all the ass you eat, you gonna turn your nose up at our turkeys. You need to stop.
Well, let me tell you, that's not the first thing. Let me tell you. So
first of all, you turning your nose up at ass.
Yeah. Because not every ass is worth eating.
It's a turkey tail. It's every a tail.
And guess and now that's not the only thing that I judge people on. Not that I'm not actually judging y'all because I like the fact that y'all eat some butt. But I will say this: if you eat, you too, Christy, you like to lick some butt too.
Sure it is. Sure it is.
But what I will say is that if you eat what's that cream chip beef?
Oh, I don't eat that.
With the biscuit, they be selling. They have it with the biscuit and the because I think I had it one time. It wasn't too bad. It wasn't my thing, but it wasn't bad.
Chip beef is another type of.
That might have been back when Bob's Big Boy was open.
That was sausage gravy. That wasn't no damn chip beef.
Yeah, that don't even look right.
You eat chip beef, you know what you ate. That shit is awful.
It is awful, and anybody that eat it, I think, is a new level of nasty.
It got cream in it or something.
I feel like if you eat it, then you was raised by a woman that was 85 years old.
That's how I feel about people who eat scrapple. I think you a psycho.
Will blow your fucking blood pressure through the goddamn ceiling.
I think
there's so much salt in that shit.
Chip beef?
No, Spam.
Oh, I don't like Spam.
I grew up on Spam, and after I could.
My grandmother made me a Spam, egg, and cheese sandwich quick.
Hey, but I ain't gonna lie, that bitch be good with the egg and the cheese. It do, because you fry that joint just right where it's brown, it's kind of like
crunchy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that shit used to be good, but or you could slice it with tomatoes and mayonnaise and lettuce and shit.
You sure got a lot of recipes for this shit.
I did. I ain't gonna act like I ain't never ate no damn Spam. I'm just saying, to this point right now, eating some damn Spam, that should have blown my fucking.
No, I'm good.
I ain't gonna be able to do it. That's a lot of damn sodium.
That's that flavor food. I don't want. I can't do it.
I will tell you this.
That's flavor food.
Yeah.
I thought that was World War II.
What?
That was close enough. We were still slaves back then. We were
I hate that term slavery food.
It is.
Because we will go to a whole other country and eat that shit that poor people eat, and we don't talk about it. We don't go in on it. We don't call it slave food. We eat it and talk about how good it was. But here we like, oh, it's slave food.
What's slave food?
Any food black people eat, pretty much.
I don't think anything, but
until
it's
white people start eating it, and then it becomes.
Oh, it's a delicacy.
Oh, absolutely, because their asses didn't eat kale. They didn't eat collards. They didn't eat none of that shit. Now it's a superfood that they have 25 recipes for.
Right. A fucking motherfucker got a goddamn collard green casserole. If you don't get the hell out of here.
What trips me out? They'll talk about how soul food will kill you, but Southern food is good for you and it's comfort food. You got time for that shit.
This is certain ones like the scrapple or stuff like
Scrapple is Amish. They ain't got nothing to do with black people.
Well, Scrapple's
just good.
I told you. But
Scrapple
I don't
good as a bitch.
Scrapple no more. I found out they got a turkey scrapple. And
I had beef scrapple.
First of all, I don't eat scrapple because it scraps. And I don't want it. And
I don't eat it all the time. I mean, shit, I just discovered that they had this shit. I just decided to try it.
Now, the only thing, honestly, what stopped me from eating a lot of that was my mom, and that was when she transitioned to Islam. And so a lot of that diet was...
Can I tell you, you know what I'm tired of saying?
What?
I have quite a few Muslim friends, and they all go in about not eating pork, don't eat pork, pork is the devil, and then sit there with a whole gang of shrimp, lobsters, and crabs and shit. And I'm like, isn't shell food on that list too?
Well, see, that's different. That's different.
Any scavenger.
Different my ass.
That's a scavenger you're not supposed to eat.
That's different.
That's like going to eat and buzzard. Like
buzzard.
You ain't never heard nobody say, boy, when I get a piece of that damn buzzard, I ain't never heard nobody eat no damn buzzard.
Well,
you got to be awful hungry to go get a buzzard.
Actually, Christy.
First of all,
actually, Christy, I've actually had baked a nice buzzard in my kitchen. You know,
you couldn't even be able to get that big motherfucker in the goddamn oven.
That was a pigeon.
Like a 14-foot wingspan.
Next time I'm on 83 and see all them buzzards, I'm gonna just see Bleu under there with a little pellet gun.
Right. He in there basting the wings. I'm out.
I cooked for y'all. The hell you did?
Like a leg, like a person's leg. You just got to give me some more butter, Joe.
I have another cocktail question for you, ladies and gentlemen. Chickens and turkeys are scavengers.
I still see him in the kitchen with the buzzard. With a stolen ass pot of tea.
He got a paint roller on it. Come on, give me some more butter.
How many tubs? How many tubs?
The next time you see him, the next party we go to, he got a fucking buzzard of butter. That motherfucker looking like Chief Nagawa.
Oh my God.
Oh my God, my stomach hurt.
Oh man.
You are stupid. So, next cocktail question is one that was given by Miss Mizell. How long is too long to be with someone before you get married?
When the baby get married, I think that's a little too long.
You said what?
When your babies get married, that's the kind of.
Yeah, that's too long. A little bit too long. Just a little bit too long.
When you're
grown, you should have been married by the third kid, like at least by the second one.
When your best man is your grown ass child, like that's, I think you pushing it now. It's just a little too late. So y'all might as well just stay the fuck together.
These motherfuckers got grandkids and shit. They got grandkids together.
Shout out to my Uncle Phil. All of their fucking children with their fucking bridesmaids and groomsmen. Shout out.
The grandkids, the great grandkids and shit.
Like y'all got some friends. No, that makes
And look, and then they be divorced by the next 6 months. I can't stand that motherfucker.
No, you should just stay out.
Been together for 37 years.
It be like that though.
Kids and 14 grandkids. What the fuck?
It be like that. It gets like that.
That was the magic. That's how they kept the magic in their life.
Right.
Because I'm really single.
Right, I'm single for real, so I can do what the fuck I want.
So
I'm going out tonight. Look, I ain't got no motherfucking rings on my goddamn thing. I'm going out.
So how long? How long is too long to be with a person before you get married?
I don't know, because I've been in some long ass relationships before, so I ain't want to talk.
I don't believe in marriage, so.
Okay.
That was a long ass silence.
We were waiting on you, Nate.
And shit.
I mean, I've been in a 5-year relationship and I've been married before, but I think anything over like 5 years, because normally like you establishing and you building, but it really just depends how old you are. Like a younger person, I think they should wait longer, but as you get older, I think anything over like 2 to 5 years. If nobody's
by the second year, you like, so when you gonna get my ring?
Right.
But if you gotta tell somebody,
I got a Montgomery Ward credit card.
If Montgomery Ward.
Oh, you old.
This motherfucker said, I got a Montgomery Ward credit card. What? Fuck you mean? It's been out of business for 30 years.
Please invite me to that wedding.
You ain't never lied.
They running shit at Montgomery Wards and Heckinges.
Oh, I'm coming.
Being catered by King's Court.
The reception is at King's Court. Look, King's Court, them goddamn hot ass rolls.
The reception gonna be over at Horn and Horn.
Horn and Horn.
Duffs.
No.
Duffs. You had to wait for that carousel to go around for you to catch the food and shit.
That damn cafeteria shit.
Right.
But it was pretty though. My greedy ass, look, it was just food spitting everywhere. You just walk all metallic.
They had that shit at the back of the fucking spot. So you was walking in and then you see that shit. It was like it had the golden glow on that motherfucker.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh, look at the macaroni and cheese. That's it. They used to fuck that macaroni and cheese up, boy. You get like 3 people on that bitch. They was like, they had to chase that shit down. You cutting in front of people like, wait a minute, I'm trying to get the macaroni and cheese. You like, you trying to catch a fucking train. Wait a minute. Hold it, macaroni. Motherfucker got distracted and ran up in the fucking kitchen.
This is why I look forward to Fridays. Anybody that is watching, by all means, join in. For all of those that have joined in and have commented.
Goddamn,
yes.
That's the word that they call.
I've had one too many drinks, and so this is the Cocktail Social. So
you know, I drink mine. That shit gone.
If I have
mine too.
Shit.
Yeah, I've had more than my share of the bubbly, but I'm okay. So for all those that have joined in, thank you for joining in. Adrian, Bakari, and Brandon, and some other individuals. Thank you for all of you that are watching. By all means, feel free to comment. This conversation has been absolutely hilarious. That first conversation was absolutely deep, and I'm going to put a pin in that because I think we still need to revisit it. But I'm not going. I'm gonna wait until everybody is okay with being naked, and it's not Gemini season.
Yeah.
So, and but
first of all, you wanna go into Cancer season with that conversation? Fuck no.
I want to go into Leo season with that conversation.
Okay, we can wait till Leo season.
Yeah.
That's yes. Right. Anyway. Would you or should you stay in a relationship if infertility was an issue?
I think it depends.
In a relationship,
I think it depends on what the person wants. I feel like if like say for instance it's the female that can't have children, then I feel like if the girl wants children and she can't have children, I feel like they should have that discussion. Or, I know of a situation where the girl wants children, but the guy doesn't want any more children. But they're really close. So it's like, it's kind of difficult because it's like, you don't want to drag anybody along and, they want to have kids or and it's something that you can't give them, I just think that it definitely has to be discussed amongst the two of them. And if they say it's okay, just know that sometimes it's not. So they can say, oh yeah, just to keep the person, oh, well, it's okay if you don't want to have children. And then, years down the line, and now it's a bunch of resentment and, a whole bunch of other stuff going on. So I just think it needs to be discussed, no matter who it is.
I think it definitely should be talked about in the beginning. Like you should put your desires out there. But that was one of my biggest regrets is not pursuing a relationship because that person wanted children, and I was like, fuck that. But I think that like over time you may get down to it, but like she said, you don't want to make nobody wait till they can't have children.
Right, and then you be like, oh, let's do it now. It's like, bitch, I'm 75. I'm 114, bitch. You won't wait. I'm 114. Ask me about some motherfucking children. This bitch old.
First of all, if you have baby with somebody that's 114, that shit ain't nothing but
baby gonna come out getting Social Security checks. If that motherfucker wait that long, them babies gonna come out already fucking grown.
It could be a syndrome at that point. That's a syndrome waiting to happen.
That motherfucker just pop out already 76.
Already.
Because I know some people that waited till they was like had kids like when they was old. I ain't talking about like now 40 is a new 30, so they say. But I'm talking about some people who was like old when they had their kids. And the kid, even though it was a toddler, it was old as shit. Like the kid was just old as shit. You know what I'm saying? He sit there with his fucking lunchbox and shit, all this shit all neat and shit. Got his little bow tie on, his little khaki jacket and shit.
Everybody who I know that waited until like their early 40s, they have a certain level of patience for children. I'm not saying that's the best time to raise children, but it just seemed like they are more organized and more like
ready. I agree.
I think that's what I was going to say. I would think that first of all, the question was like, would you stay in a relationship if infertility was an issue? And I would, because I think that there's always options, and I think that, and you got there's adoption, there's you can open a relationship up. You can have someone surrogate your child. Someone act as a surrogate parent and carry the child for you. So I think that.
See, that's the one that I don't think I could do. That surrogacy, I don't think.
I would now me being in a gay relationship, I would do it. You know, I think you have to have that certain person that you feel comfortable with, and it's the way you would do it. You know, you could do artificial insemination, or you could actually do sex, but it depends on who. And I've actually contemplated that, like, but my standard of who I would want to have a child with, because I wouldn't want that. I would want a child if I was having it with my partner. I would not want to have a child that they didn't agree upon the person. You know what I mean? So it would have to be with someone that we both agreed would be a good parent, a good mother for our child. But I would definitely, and honestly, because I wouldn't want it to be a selfish situation, I would give him the option of having a baby for himself as well. Because I wouldn't, you know what I mean? Like, not saying that we would have two, you know, that's your baby, this is my baby. But to actually have that opportunity, because I think that in gay relationships, a lot of times with that, they miss out. They want to have children, but they don't think of those options for themselves. They think that and honestly, a lot of gay men and lesbian females have created children together. A lot of transgender.
But do you want that person to maintain being a mother in that child's life?
Huh?
Do you want that person to be the mother for that child? Like, are they going to stay in the child's life?
If they want to. I would allow it. I wouldn't see why not, because I think that would be only fair, that they would know who their mother is. And I think that I would be honest. You know, I'm in a gay relationship, but me and your mom are me and your mom, but we are your fathers. So you get what I mean? I would have that conversation. I think it's a unique conversation to have, but I don't think I would be opposed to having it.
Yeah, because there'd be some questions, because you know the kids would be like, "Hey, Daddy, did you ask me for a baby? Where did I come out of?
That's the part that's weird to me, because when people think of surrogacy, they just think of somebody having a baby for you, and that's it. To me, that's a weird part, because I've been asked. I had a lesbian best friend, and she asked me, but they didn't want me to be the father, and that was one of the reasons that I was like, I couldn't do it, because I didn't. I as a man could not know I have a child out there and not be a part of their life. But at the same time, do you want to be in the life, or do they want you in it? Like, all that's weird to me. I don't think I would rather adopt than to do surrogacy.
But I think that there is, for me, adoption, that still has that, you know, where did I come from? Who am I for real? You know what I mean? And so you still have to answer those questions. And even though you have a person that you may be giving your opening your home up to, which is fine, you don't know, you may know something about the child, but you may not know everything about that child's biological family. And so you're opening yourself up to that. And I think, to me, that is a risk that I'm like, okay, I could take it if I had that option. But if I had an option of doing surrogate before adopting, I probably would do the surrogacy first and save the adoption for something later.
I think I'm more comfortable with the adoption or foster parent route, only because my mother was a foster parent and she adopted children. So I think because I know more about that. And then the other side, this seems like, what if at one point they want to take the child, or you fighting over like parental? And that can happen again with adopted children, but it's rare. It's more rare.
But I think even with surrogacy, it's a contract. So it's like you basically are signing. You're not necessarily like, it's up to the parents that may say, you know, I will allow you to be in our child's life. And the only reason why I would do that is because if I had a daughter, I would want her to know her mother. I would want her to have a female in her life outside of just my sister or the females that I have in my life. And if I had a son, I would want him to know his mother. You know, I don't want him to have this construed idea that his two daddies gave birth to him.
Right.
No, there was a female involved. It's just that Which one of you gave birth to me?
Go ask your mother.
I think a question for next week, but I'm interested in, because it's kind of similar to this conversation. But if you say you had a child with somebody else in like another relationship, and now you've married to someone else, are you comfortable giving that child the new, say it's the husband, the new husband's name? Are you comfortable with doing that, or do you think that child should still keep their old father's name, no matter what, like the way that old parent was? Would you be comfortable changing your child's name? I was watching the story on Eve on Real Housewives of Atlanta, and she was like pressed to give her daughter the new husband's name because she didn't have a good relationship with the father. And I just felt like that was weird.
That's a little spiteful. Mm-hmm. Now, if it's a situation like, say for instance, the father is deceased, or something like that, then I don't think there's a problem with giving them the name. But if they have a father that's active in their life, then I think they should keep his name. Like, that's still his child.
And with that being said, my socialites, we've come to the end of another wonderful show. I actually do want to touch bases on that conversation next week, so I want you to put that in the chat room. And for everyone that has been following, join us next week for another Cocktail Social. Make sure that you have your cocktails ready. If you have any questions that you'd like us to talk about on the show, by all means, send them to us at the Cocktail Social Show on Facebook, or Be Exposed Radio, or any one of the socialites. You can, ask them the question and we'll bring it up on the show. As with always, I do appreciate you following us, and we will see you next week. Enjoy your Memorial Day. Cook out, everybody, and I will be seeing y'all after these messages. Bye.